Have you ever paused to ask yourself, why are you eating? No, we generally don't. We generally just eat. When it comes to eating, there's two main reasons we eat: homeostatic eating and hedonic eating. Homeostatic eating, meaning we eat to survive, we eat to stay alive, we eat for our biological needs, for hunger, for nutrients, for energy, for vitamins, minerals, phytonutrients, macronutrients, all these things in order to keep surviving. Imagine it this way: it's just like a car. It needs fuel in order to run. And that is where homeostatic eating comes in, hedonic eating. This is where things get more interesting and a bit more complex. Hedonic eating is about the enjoyment and the emotional aspect of food. Most of the times, we don't eat for homeostatic reasons. For many of us, it's the hedonic reasons we eat. Think of it this way: eating our emotions. Every time I stress, I need to have something to eat. Every time I'm feeling low, brain foggy, I'm going to go for a quick snack. It's been a hard day at work. I'm too tired to cook. Let's just go for the pizza. Hedonic eating is that eating we do for the emotional aspect. And that's usually the kind of eating that leads us to, over time, to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's the thing with homeostatic eating, we're not particular of the kind of food. If I'm hungry, I will eat anything. Hedonic eating, we generally crave the high-fat, high-sugar, highly processed foods. Think of it. When you're having a bad day, it's been a rough day at work, you are stressed. What foods do you crave? What are the things you reach that you put in your mouth? It's generally not the healthiest choices, because those food light up centers in the brain, just like dopamine hits. They make us just feel a little bit better. They just make us worry less, stress less. But 30 minutes later, the pain point sets in. Now we feel guilty. We're not happy about what we did. And guess what? Now we just go back and do the same thing yet again. This is where hedonic eating is literally just a treat for your emotions. And where does that kind of eating lead you to? That is where we need to start build the awareness of why we are eating. When we are eating, to just pause a few seconds and ask yourself, why am I eating this? A great exercise I'll give you are the following reflection questions. Number one, when do you find yourself eating out of necessity versus pleasure? Number two, how do different foods affect your mood and emotional state? Number three, can you identify specific situations where you tend to eat for emotional comfort? Number four, how might understanding your eating habits lead to healthier choices? By understanding the reason why we eat, it's easier to start cultivating the awareness. And once we cultivate the awareness, then only can we start changing these habits, because most of us eat out of habit. These habits run subconsciously. We just repeat them. We do them day in, day out. We can't change any of that until we first cultivate the awareness of, you know what? I'm not eating because I'm actually hungry. I'm actually eating to eat my emotions. I'm eating to comfort myself. I'm eating to soothe myself. Okay, now we can start looking for those patterns and start changing them for something better. Something that will help us break free from that. And that's why many of my videos, I preach about stress management, mental health, emotional health. Because unless we deal with those kinds of things, it's easy to fall into the trap of hedonic eating. And slowly over time, our body gets bigger, more guilt, more shame, more dread, more regret. And again, it just feeds back into that hedonic eating. I encourage you, start asking yourself these questions when you are eating. Why am I eating? And be honest with yourself. If you aren't going to start looking for these patterns, it's very difficult to succeed in losing weight and keeping it off. I would really appreciate a thumbs up on this video. Send this video to a friend that you think might benefit from it. And as always, be 1% better today than you were yesterday.